Good evening. How's everybody doing out there? We got Shannon. I wear my sunglasses at night, as Ted calls him. Dave G. Isaiah's here. How we doing? Hey, Curtis. How you doing, bud? Kelly, Tony. How we doing? So, now we're in the slow season right now here in Louisiana, anyway. But this summer, I really, really want to start offering inverter technology, and Bosch was my go-to, so I never really had a reason to think any further. Hey, how we doing, Rich? Mr. Green, Randy, Bill, Ethan, Tony, David, how you doing? I never had any reason to really look past the Bosch, but then here lately, you know, I give the devil its due, even though that there's issues with us. Zach had Steve Raridan on his show talking about the Bosches. And so after I heard the humidity control, no, I will not buy a Ream or Rude inverter. They've been a nightmare. So anyway, after hearing the humidity issues, I started doing some more research and reaching out to other people that I know, and it's kind of being the same thing. Now, a lot of people are saying that whoever's saying that's full of shit. They've oversized it. Now, the Bosch only makes 2 condensers, but you have to set your dip switches to what indoor unit that you have, and still have to size the house correctly. Okay, so basically what this is, I want to talk to some people that know stuff about inverters, and Adam, A-Team Adam, is supposed to join me. If I see him as soon as he makes himself known in the chat, I'll put him a link. And if anybody else that has experience with inverters, you're more than, if you want to come in, let me know. So I am a Bryant dealer. I like the Bryant stuff, but it's a 5-stage. Bryant does make a true variable in non-heat pump. But it's really pricey. Now, I really think that the best inverter on the market is probably Trane and American Standard, but selling Trane or American Standard is not an option for me. Well, I probably could sell Trane, but I'm not going to for 2 reasons. One, I don't want to. Number 2, the supply house that I have to get it from is my competition. They are a contractor heating and air company and a supply house. Selling American Standard is not an option because now selling American Standard could become an option here in the next year or 2. But there's some rumors floating around, and we all know how rumors go. No, I'm not talking about mini splits. So there's rumors going around. So if the rumor does become true, and what happened and what they're saying is going to happens, I can become an American Standard dealer because I'm going to have a friend that's going to be working there. So I'm not going to buy Trane. American Standard's out the picture right now because of the supplier that we have. They already have enough dealers. They're happy with the dealers that they have. That's what I was told. So how you doing, Sean? I have and you all know, yeah, I'm staying pretty busy. I mean, steady, you know, not wide open. Coleman, I don't think so. No York products for me. So I had a guy that I know pretty well come to me and he said, "Hey, dude," or he texted me and he's like, "I know you're not a fan of Goodman, and everybody here knows that." He said, "But the Amana inverter is pretty damn nice." He said it's pretty freaking nice. He said it's true variable. It's got a Daikin compressor, and he he said it's pretty damn nice. So, you know, we'll see. Well, tell me about the Amana. Okay, so Curtis, how many inverter 20 SEER inverter Amanas do you have out there? I'm going to send Adam a text. So ICP is only 5-stage. I've got a couple of those out there. The people like them, but they say it didn't really drop their energy bill like I had said. They weren't upset, but they said it does maintain the house really well. So the Bryant, the 5-stage is there's Adam. I guess you're on the overtime channel. Hold on, let me put the link in the chat, Adam. So the ICP inverters that I have out there, the customers love them. They say the humidity control is fantastic. Their house is so comfortable. They're able to raise the temperature, you know, about 4 or 5 degrees versus the old system, and it's great. But they said that it really didn't save on energy. So now they said it didn't go up. I mean, they said you know, it went the bill is down a little bit compared to the old system, but not as not what they figured it would be, I guess. They're not upset because they said they love the unit. They love it. Yeah, Sean, Carrier and Bryant just came out with a 26-year inverter. It's supposed to be pretty badass, but it's pricey as hell. And that's what I was saying about Bryant. I can get the 5-stage at a really decent price, but I cannot get, I mean, now, and they make a true inverter that's not a 5-stage. It's actually like 60 or 70, 80 something steps, but it's pricey. It's really pricey. Um, yeah, the Carrier, it's a Infinity, and then the Bryant, it would be a the Bryant Evolution. Adam, I put the link in the chat for you. I don't see you down here in the little what do you call it? You know, to let you in or whatever. So I'm just Joe, have you've put in a Joe Shear, you've put in a hold on, Adam, I'm gonna post it again. There it is, Adam. You've put in a few in the 3-stage, the 17 SEER. Have you ever put in the 20 SEER? Uh Ring. Hello, sir.
I forgot to mute YouTube. Sorry.
That's okay. How you doing, buddy?
Good. How about you?
I'm good. Good to see you.
Long time no talk.
No, long time, man. Long time.
Yep. How you doing?
I'm good. I'm good. I've been watching though. Y'all doing good over there, man. Enjoying the show.
Thank you. You haven't been posting too much lately. You promised you were going to be doing Saturday night things, and
I know, and I'm gonna get back on that. There's just it's not a bad problem. It's actually been work getting in the way. So, so it's a good problem, I guess. Hey, Bill, how you doing? So, you've installed the 20 Sierra Mana?
Yes, I actually I think it was the 18 Seer a couple years ago.
Well, that
changed.
Okay. Yeah, that's not an inverter. That's a 2-stage.
No, they've done it was the inverter. It definitely was the inverter.
So a Mana has an 18 and a 20 inverter?
I don't know if they still have the 18, but I believe they didn't have the 20 at the time when I did the 18.
Oh, so you don't push them?
I have not pushed them recently, no.
Okay.
So I did back, so everything kind of changed a little bit, right? Prior to recently, the Amanas, I don't know, have you done the Amanas?
Oh, no, not an inverter. No, the only thing I sold when I was a Mana back in 2013 was 14 and 16, and I did a couple. I did quite a bit of 14, and I did a handful of the 16 2-stage.
Okay.
Yeah.
So the last one I did, you would have to have their proprietary thermostat, which it was a zoned inverter system, communicating system, and I believe it was like the old school, the Honeywell.
It's still the same. They have not updated that.
But you don't, the new ones, if you're using the modulating furnace, the Comfort Bridge, you don't need a communicating thermostat anymore.
Oh,
you can use a regular single stage 24-volt thermostat if you're using
really?
bridge furnace. Yep.
Well, that's pretty nice.
The cool thing about the Amana is even if you're using their 2-stage condensers, 2-stage heat pumps, inverters, whatever, it's 2 wires out to the condenser no matter what.
Okay. But see, right. When I was doing the 2-stage Amanas, it came with a transformer.
Yep.
And you had to mount the transformer, and that's how you got your red and your common.
Yep.
So, but hey, Dallas, good to see you here. But,
do you hear it buzzing? My freaking
yeah, I do hear it.
I'll be right back. Let me turn.
Okay, it's all good. But I was gonna tell Adam. Yeah, I'll wait till he gets back.
Sorry.
That's all right. So the only thing is I would be open to trying an Amana inverter because I've heard a lot of good things. There's a couple guys here in the chat saying some bad things. But what's holding me back the most is the air handler size. You got to remember, we don't have basements and shit here. And everything is mostly electric and heat pump. And when you get into 4 tons with Amana and Goodman, that is a really, really big air handler. Yep. And it's hard to fit it in an attic.
Right.
So that's what's holding me back.
That's one of the things I don't like about Amana in general, like the width of their furnaces, all that, you know what I mean? Like 100,000 furnace, just everything, like 80% when you're doing it with, like, I know you guys can't do 80%, right? Or no, you can't.
Oh no. Dude, you don't see 90% furnaces here.
Right.
We don't have
north Joe that can't do. Okay. So yeah, so like their 100,000 BTU 80% furnaces are 21-inch wide, which you can get like a train in a 17.5-inch wide. You can get Bryant's, Carrier, any of those in a very much narrower cabinet.
Yep.
And it's kind of a pain in the butt. Like everything is just like their cabinets are big overall.
Yeah, agreed. I mean, the air handlers are huge. I mean, they're like almost 60 inches tall and they're 24 and a half inches wide. I mean, that's not going through a staircase.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, it's not going to happen. So I don't know, man. I don't know what to do about it. So, well, you probably don't push inverter air conditioning because
I have like, all right. So I have like, the only reason why I stopped, to be honest with you, is because I'm so shorthanded. I've tried hiring, I've tried hiring. I've tried like hiring out of state. And when I do the high end,
you tried recruiting me when I was,
yeah. I mean, like, honestly, I really would like to have a good service tech. It would be great to have an installer too. But the problem is, when I install high end systems, I have to fix the high end systems. Meaning,
right.
Saturday night, 11 o'clock at night, guess who's the only one who's going out to it? Even like, so if I have a guy that's a green guy that's helping me right now, zero chance in hell he's fixing shit with an inverter. You know what I mean?
So let me ask you this, kind of getting off topic, but we'll make it quick. Have you ever thought about a subcontractor? I have a wonderful subcontractor that does fantastic work. I'm in the middle of a 3-system change out right now, and we're going to finish it tomorrow. And he'll send a couple of his men to come help me, and they do a fantastic job.
I mean, if I could find the right group, I guess. The problem is, like, I guess if you
and I hate to cut you off, but it's great. We go in these people's houses. He's got his own general liability. He's got his own insurance, everything. So if one of his guys damage a ceiling, damage anything, it doesn't fall back on me.
Right.
He'll claim it on his, because one of his guys did step through a ceiling about 6 months ago for me, and he took care of it. So that's another good thing,
Yeah, I think the problem is, like, what I'm really nervous about, which I might actually have better luck with a subcontractor, because I feel like the most part, if you're non-union, around me at least, all the good guys either are getting paid a crap ton of money at their company and have no thoughts in leaving whatsoever, or they own their little own thing. You know what I mean? They're doing stuff for themselves. So I might have better luck with an installer at least.
Well, here's the thing. My subcontractor does own his own business, and he does have his own customers and his own advertisement and all that, which I don't give a shit. It doesn't bother me at all. I pay him. He charges me a fair price. And, now I don't get him for every one of them. I get him mainly for attic jobs, because it's just, I have a little helper. But if it's a big closet unit or a mobile home, we do that ourselves.
Yeah.
But these attics, I'll call him. And now he don't send out the whole crew, but he'll send me like 2 guys,
Yeah. So what other inverters have you done? I know I've done train as well.
I've never installed a train, but when I worked in Lafayette, when I moved here the first time, I worked for a huge train dealer and I serviced them. And they seem to be very nice machines.
They are. And I have to say that my installation practices for Amana stemmed from the train training that I took, because the train inverters, they made you take a class in order to sell them, and they were like super stringent on certain things that they talked about like 400 times, whatever.
Oh, dude, so, they must really train you up, because one of the dudes that worked there, he knew all the codes. Like, we all had a book in the truck, but if you were having that hard of a time, you could call him. He had the codes memorized.
It's like Ted.
Yeah. So, but train is not an option for me,
right?
For 2 reasons.
Price.
I mean, well, yeah. And I mean, I really don't want to sell train, because in Lafayette, we got about 20 something train dealers. 2, the train distributor is my competition. They are a contracting company and a supply house.
Hmm.
So I'm not going to buy from my competition.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
American Standard is not an option because it is a mom and pop supply house. They have 3 dealers and that's all they want.
Yeah.
So, but there is a rumor floating around that a certain American Standard distributor about an hour away from here is going to buy out that mom and pop company and open up here. And if that happens, my Bryant salesman that I'm really good friends with is going to work for them as their salesman because he's good friends with them. So I would become an American Standard dealer if that were to happen because my buddy takes really good care of me.
Right. There's a rumor going around right now that Train is, I don't know if it's secretly or whatever. I'm not gonna say who's, where the rumor came from, but I think Train is taking back distributor states slowly but surely.
Well, that would be nice. But now, what would that do with American Standard?
I'm not sure, to be honest with you.
So let me ask you this, and Ted's in the chat, so maybe he can answer this. And Ted is welcome to come in here if he wants to, but
you should come in here. It'd be like old times.
yeah. So if he wants to come in, he can let me know. So even like in a non-distributor state where Ted's at, what does that do to American Standard? Is American Standard still belong to a distributor, or I don't know.
I'm not sure because I've never talked to somebody about an American Standard distributor state.
Well, here's the me either. And I know Ted is big on Train, but sometimes it's hard to get Ted to admit it. But there is absolutely no difference between Train and American Standard.
Right.
I think Ted will kind of try to tell you there is, but there's really not. I mean, it's literally, I've literally went to the American Standard store to get parts for a Train.
Yeah.
And vice versa. There's absolutely no difference. So
it's cool because when you go to the tour in Tyler, Texas, there's a big turnaround driveway at the factory, and the entrance of one side of the driveway says American Standard, and the entrance to the other side of the driveway says Train.
Okay, so when they're on the assembly line,
yep,
is one assembly line Train, the other one American Standard?
I think they probably run different ones per day, but they switch out what is run on each line. So like one day, maybe one line's running Train, the next day it's running American Standard. That's kind of the way the gist I took from it when I took the tour.
I got you. Ted, I'm putting the link in the chat for you. But
I just like Train, to be honest with you, because my dad started working for Train. I think it was like 1973, like when he worked for the actual Train company, and he did all the way through the mid 80s. And it was just cool to sell Train because it was like something that I grew up with as a kid.
Right.
I'll put food on my table, and it was
that's how I felt about York.
Mm-hmm.
We've had this discussion before. And when they got bought out by Johnson Controls, it was kind of heartbreaking to drop the line, but we had to. The microchannels were killing us. Now, Ted is sitting here saying that American Standard and Train is 2 totally different facilities.
I don't think it was when I was there. I mean, that was like about 10 years ago, but from what I understand, they made all the spine fin coils
in Tyler,
Texas. I know they had their air conditioning factory was Tyler, Texas, which originally was a GE refrigerator factory. And then they started making GE condensers at that factory. And then they have Trenton, New Jersey for the furnaces. They have, what's Wisconsin? La Crosse, Wisconsin for some of their commercial units. I'm trying to think what else they have. I don't remember off the top of my head.
Right. Package units were made where? In Tyler?
No, I think it was La Crosse. I think La Crosse, Wisconsin is where they did. Ted would know this. I mean, my dad's been to that tour. I've never been there.
Well, Ted said Train's all he ever saw in Tyler, but I'm pretty damn sure American Standard's made in Tyler also.
I think yeah.
Yeah.
I would agree with you. Maybe I'm wrong. Ted knows all. I don't want. I learned not to argue with Ted very early on.
Not when it comes to train. Just like me and him totally disagree on the color of them. To me, they look gray. Ted says they're green.
They're like a gray green. I don't know. I don't think he got the carpet to match the green, but I don't think it's the exact same color as this carpet.
To me, they look like a really dark charcoal gray. That's an American Standard is more of the light gray color. That's what they look like to me.
I like the color much better of the new like S9 furnaces. I gotta say, like they just look slick.
How is that furnace? Because one thing I've seen Ted work on a few of them. It's got the one solid door. I like that. And then the blower is covered so you can service it, but the board is on the opposite side. But I did see that the board is really plug and play. So is it a pain in the ass to get to the blower or not really?
I have not yet had to get to the blower, and I've actually installed a lot of those furnaces, so I guess it's good. If I had problems with it, I'd probably be MFing train right now. But one thing I don't like about them, they were bragging when they did the whole unveiling thing about how short the furnaces is.
Yeah.
And the problem is with that blower door, the depth it is from the back of the furnace, if you have an upflow in a basement, you have to put it on a box. You have to. You don't have enough depth to have a deep enough filter. So it's either that or you have your return drop farther away and you have to build a big transition or whatever. You know what I mean? So
okay, again, this is coming from a guy that doesn't see basements. So you're talking about you can't really cut the side out.
I mean, I have on smaller furnaces,
But
smaller BTUs, but you're doing like 100,000, 100%. You need a box all day long. Even at 80,000, I would recommend having a box, just because of the depth. You can't get, regular furnaces, a lot of times you'll see like an 80,000 furnace. I know you're really kind of stretching it a little bit, but you'll see like a 16 by 25 filter rack on the side in a basement. In the Midwest by me, the basements are short. You don't have, and everyone's like, why don't you put it up on a box? Well, how much room do you have when you have a 7-foot ceiling to put a furnace up on the box when you got a freaking 3-foot coil sitting on top of the furnace? You know what I mean? You need to plan them and all that.
Yeah.
So that's the issue. And they're small basements. So it's like, well, just build a big transition and have your return drop 4 feet away. It's like, well, this ductwork has been here since 1960. You want me to replace all the ductwork in the house so I can move everything over? It's not as easy as everyone thinks it is.
Well, they don't think about shit like that,
Right. But anyways, my point to that was you don't have like 25 inches. You don't have 25 inches to put a filter rack. The depth of the blower compartment is not, it's like, I don't even remember what it is, 22, 20, something. It's something crazy small where it's uncomfortably small,
Right. Okay, but you asked earlier what inverters I've done. So I've only done the ICPs, and they're not true. They're 5-stage. And I've done Bosch. And I think that's all I've ever installed. Now, I've serviced some Train ones. I have serviced a couple Linux ones, but I've never installed those.
So as far as the Bosch, I'm assuming you did the 1.0.
Yes, I've never done a 2.0.
So for the 1.0, I have been reading horror stories all over the internet about humidity issues with the 1.0.
That's what I was
talking. I think, there's a lot of people that are talking about it right now. So I was just wondering, how have you heard about that on your
Yeah, that's what I was talking about before you came on. I was talking to these guys. I did watch the video with Raritan, and you're right. It's all over the place. Mr. Ted.
There he is.
What's up, man?
How you doing, brother?
Oh, you talking about where Raritan admits that the Bosch is a completely incomplete product that should have never been introduced to the public?
Yeah,
now, he didn't admit that in those words, but he made that clear that it's only half done. Where's the communication? Where's the air handler? How do we make the blower? There's one guy that can make that machine work. that we all know in the community. I bet you know who I bet you know who he is. One guy in this community, he'd make the board. He'd take and make the board and make it work. You know who that is?
Heck,
Me.
Gray Furnace Man.
Okay, 2.
Jim.
Leave him out of it, man. He's retired. He doesn't want to be.
No, you
The
got
only one who's making boards would be Hack Free.
Adam knows who he is. There's one guy that make that thing work.
Bergman?
No, hell no. No, Bergman wouldn't have interest in that, I don't think.
No, okay,
There's one guy that would make it work, and it's hack free HVAC.
I said that 3 times. I said it 3 times.
Well, you got to speak up.
Okay, so I agreed at the beginning that an inverter-driven system should have a variable speed blower motor.
It has to. There's no other way to use it.
I mean, if your condenser is going to ramp up and down, your blower should ramp with it.
Right.
Yeah.
One capacity needs to follow the other. Now, I admit, sometimes we want to tilt the scale between, for dehumidification versus being far behind, and we need more capacity, we need more latent, we need more sensible. But regardless, they still have to communicate and follow each other, or it's an incomplete product. End of story. To make that, they would have been better off letting it be like a 5-speed or something.
Well, look, let me put it to you like this. That's what ICP is. ICP
and it's good enough.
Is a 5-stage.
It's pretty damn good.
Now, when you get to Carrier and Bryant, you can get a full, truly inverter. But the ICP brands are only offered in 5-stage.
What I want to make sure everybody remembers. How old were you in 92, John? Now, that's not what I want to make everybody remember.
Well, I was probably 4 or 5 years old.
Okay. That's when Trane had the variable capacity compressor with the variable speed. That's when we had the complete system, the complete inverter system in 1992. And I had my hands in a couple of them. I ain't going to lie to you. I ain't going to pretend. I didn't know what the crap, I had to call the FSRs. They were above all the techs' heads, and we couldn't work on them. And that's why they dropped them. They dropped them because they weren't selling. They didn't drop them because they were a bad product. But that's when we had the DC-driven, the inverter and the DC-driven compressor.
Was that you?
But back in
you were Hack Free that made a video on one of them. I saw somebody had one from the early 90s.
Both of us did, but the problem is Hack Freeze has got a lot of. Hey, he made a board in his video that replaced a part you can't buy and made one of those old dinosaurs work. Okay, on the variable speed blower, communicating, where it was lack of the ability. So anyway, the reason I took mine down is because my Trane guy, my friend that is a factory guy, pointed out how many incorrect points I had made in mine. And he said, I was just wanting to blab back and forth like me and John used to do about, dude, we're the king. Everybody follows us. I was just wanting to blab about that. We had it first. We did it best. And everybody tries to copy us, which is actually a fact in the residential end of this business. But I got lost in it and made so many facts that weren't true. So many points that weren't accurate. So
are you talking about the video of the 30-year-old unit that had never been touched?
No, I still got that up. It's 20 years old. No,
okay, I must have never seen that video.
It was only up for like a week. I don't think Adam was even around yet.
Oh, okay.
It was only up for about.
I'm always around. I just wasn't talking back then.
Well, you weren't on the scene, but you might have been watching. But the video was up for less than a week, and my buddy, that's an FSR, the one that had that slingshot thing that we threw the Nest thermostat with.
Yeah.
He said, a couple things is inaccurate in that video, right? And he's one guy. I'll argue with anybody, especially Adam, but he's I like Adam. What am I supposed to say, man? I mean, I ain't gonna argue with him. But if I don't like you, I'm not argue with you at all.
Hey,
right.
Me and Ted, we started off like with a lot of arguments, but now I consider Ted a good friend of mine. I'd
Me-
freaking drive
me and-
up to Ted's house if he needed me right now.
Me and Ted started our relationship the same way.
Oh,
Fight,
we had
argue,
arguments
fighting
with Adam.
and
Oh, yeah.
fighting and all that. And now I consider Ted one of my really good friends.
But really, though, with John, the whole thing was, I was greatly offended if you're going to bash Train. I'm still,
Yeah.
I'm still that way.
And look, I was doing a lot of brand bashing, and I don't do that anymore. I
Well,
should have.
you were greatly offended if somebody called you a dumbass.
Yes, and now I don't. I can
And
care
you
less.
Took it that way,
Right.
even though I didn't come straight out and say it. You still took it that way. But I will say this: over the years, as I've watched, things change and all, John no longer assigns his self-worth to others' opinions. So if you think he's a dumbass, he really doesn't care.
Yeah, exactly.
Whereas he got pretty hot. I still make my kids laugh. We still laugh at that video because I took it. He made this one video and he said, "And you little bastard, you know who I'm talking to because I know you're watching." And I take that thing and I do the max headroom thing with it. I sit there with a mouse and click and click, and click, and say, "And you little bastard, and you little bastard, and you little bastard." I hope you don't ever take that thing down, John. That's an awesome, iconic video.
No, it's all good, man. Like I said,
Oh, it's awesome, man. It's part of our whole growth
Yeah,
community.
I had to learn how the YouTube way of not to get butt hurt on here anymore. And no, like I said,
Well, it wasn't real smart on my part to go attacking somebody's video either.
well,
I mean, I didn't get at.
We were both at each other, and now I think we have a really good friendship.
Yeah.
So
Adam wasn't around then. We fought way harder than me and Adam.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Me and Adam just had a couple of little disagreements that he was totally wrong about, and we got back.
Get out of here with that crap. I remember I was watching all these guys, Raridan. I was watching John. I was watching Zach. I was watching all these guys. And I remember all this video got recommended to me. I don't know if it was a church video or what it was.
Oh, yeah. I know which video you're talking about.
It was Ted walking around and just look at this, blah, blah, blah. And I think he was working on Yorks. And I'm like,
it was York.
Who is this hillbilly?
You liked me right off the bat, man.
It was some Yorks.
Yeah.
They're Yarks. You can't even say your own word, Yark.
Some Yorks. Some Yarks.
I'm gonna tell you something though. I think a couple of the guys that are really the smartest out of our now. I know we got Gray, and I know we got all these school guys, but out of just the regular guys like us, I think that Steven guy is really sharp.
Which
Steven who? Raridan?
Yeah, Raridan. I think he's pretty sharp.
Look, I don't like that guy. Me and him have never had a good relationship, but I do agree that he's
pretty smart.
He's sharp.
Smart. Now he's a little over the top on some of this.
Right, right.
You can't reinvent every single house, and I think he's one of these high end, super geeky guys.
Yes,
but he seems pretty coul.
Yeah. Well, I don't know.
Anyway,
I don't know about cool, but
here's the one I hate to admit is tell you another guy that's smart, and I hate to admit it, but Joe Shear is really sharp too.
Yeah, he is.
He really, like, if you want to really pick apart now I don't go along with the anal retentive installs. I just don't. Over the top is over the top. If it's unnecessary, it's unnecessary. Now that's just my opinion. If his opinion is to do it that way, then he needs to keep doing that. Okay. But to me, if there's no use in it, I'm just not that OCD. I'm just not that damn, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But, those are a couple of the guys that I think are really pretty smart technically when it comes to all of us YouTube guys. I don't know if you can think of anybody else that's in that class. I don't know if you can think of anybody else.
Can I make a comment on Shannon's post?
Yeah.
Shannon over here posting stuff.
Static probes point up into the airstream. Follow the arrow.
Oh my God! I'm gonna click this spot right.
Oh my God! Not this shit again. Not this shit again with you two.
Listen, the reason they put the mark on there, I was trying to argue, that meant And it does say in the instructions from field piece to face it into the airstream.
Okay, that's fine, but I have Dwyer. I don't
really make any difference. But the reason they put the arrow on there is because if it wasn't there, you'd have to keep pulling it out and looking at it. You don't know where.
All right, hold on.
It's an indicator, so you don't know where you're at.
I always follow the airflow because that's just the way I was taught. Which one of you said which one of it? Which one of you said it does?
All I said in the video is I said it doesn't matter. I said working on low airflow systems like residential, you put it in. I said turn it. You'll see. There's no change if you turn it in the direction.
The only reason you're ever measuring static is because it's too high and you got a problem.
Right.
I mean, low airflow's ass. I mean, dude, I'm sorry. You're wrong.
Meaning low airflow by 5 ton or less by low airflow. That's what I'm talking about.
Field piece instructions.
Hold on a second. If you want me to link a Jim Bergman airflow video about him saying it doesn't matter, I could do that.
Jim Bergman's not field piece. Sorry.
Adam, just take out the camera and do a video.
He already did it 2 in the morning.
So
he already did.
And who are you calling?
My service tech. He's got a problem with a stupid ass unit. I'm hoping he's on top of it. What you got? What you got?
Both limits. There's only 2 limits on the whole thing, man. Both are good.
But if the fan runs all the time, it's usually limit open, or the initial power up on some Carrier products. The fan runs 90 seconds, but I've never seen that on a gas pack. Only furnaces.
It's right. Wide open.
So figure out what's keeping the fan on all the time. Maybe did you unhook the green? Maybe he's got the damn fan on in the house. Might be a little bit too obvious. And so, look at John's kids back there.
Yeah. Limit switch.
That's what he just went through.
Oh.
So there's a couple of heavy hitters here.
And the rollout. Check his rollouts.
You're going to put pressure on me now.
Pressure? You don't know them. They don't know you.
What? It don't matter.
Wait, I know it. What's his name? Jimmy?
I'm gonna try to read it back in the board, make sure it's not a wire pitch or something stupid,
Greg.
No,
yeah.
He
Nah, he was laughing at something else. Because now I got to tell him. Now I got to tell him why your name is Greg.
All right. Give me a minute longer.
All right. See what you can do. Now, what it is, man, is these Yankees moved down here. That's why I named him that Greg. His name's Greg, obviously. But these Yankees moved down here in like 92 and just blasted the area with new houses. I mean, bam, 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 bam. Showing all these rednecks how to build houses. I mean, dude, this is a true story. One time, because it was like a challenge and it was the only way they could make the sale. One time they went from a concrete slab, there's slab houses, concrete slab to closed out, bushes in the yard, cars in the driveway, closed, done, over, moved in, sold, closed, 8 days.
No.
I'm just telling you, 8 days. There was a little house called a Princess. It's a little 1,200 square foot house, little rectangle. We were all in there together, electricians, plumbers, us, all at the same time. The 8 days, now the slab was already poured, but 8 days, and the rough plumbing was in the slab, of course. That goes in before, okay, but the slab was poured. 8 days later, they closed. They only did that once. But anyway, those Yankees would walk around, you know, yelling your name, hollering, whatever, and Greg, 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 you know, they always said your name 3 times. That's just how they were. You know, they just always did that. And we just started saying it and saying it and saying it. It's kind of like that Jimmy stuff. So that's where the Greg, Greg, Greg comes from.
It is funny that you do say Jimmy, Ted, because all my kids, you probably wouldn't believe this, but my 2 boys, I always call him Jimmy. And that was before I ever talked to you ever in my life. I'm like, what's that,
Well,
Jimmy?
Well, it was a name. It wasn't meaning the name Jimmy. You know, like you Jimmy a lock or you Jimmy a door, Jimmy, you know, Jimmy's kind of a word to us. And it just got started. Honestly, I wish I had never done it because I just thought it'd be funny to show up to work one day and Steve, the guy, you know, from the videos, just call him Jimmy all day. Just don't nonstop, no matter what. And, you know, it got done so much. At one time we busted out laughing in front of this customer because the customer was dead serious and he said, "Oh yeah, that's what Jimmy was saying earlier." He thought it was really his name. You know, what Jimmy was telling me earlier. And like, you know, we got no Jimmys here. And the customer, you know, said that. So they heard him calling him Jimmy all day.
Yeah.
I mean, I really wish I'd never started that, honestly, because it just went on and on. It's been like 8 years, man, and it won't stop. We've agreed to stop. We've said we're going to stop. You know, it doesn't. When you make an agreement or a pact, you're almost always going to bust it. When it just goes without saying and you just both do it, it'll probably never happen again. Like, me and John never agreed to quit fighting. We never agreed. We never had a big meeting and said, "Well, John, diplomatically, if I could get, this or whatever." We just knocked it off one day.
Mm-hmm.
Just knocked it off. And honestly, I don't remember who did it first. One of us just quit giving the other one shit, and the other one followed, and then we started being friends.
Yeah, kind of the same with me and you.
No, we fight till you knew you couldn't win, and I didn't want you to surrender because I didn't want you to do that because I liked you, so I backed out. Come on, I'm an old man. You gotta let me. I'm 58, man. You gotta let me have that. I'm gonna die first.
I think I did. I think I did back out.
You're gonna still be alive when I don't know, but
if I am alive when you kick the bucket. Are you going to leave me a little something in your will? Maybe one of those, the Super Bee or something like that?
I don't know, man. I might be getting your dad's car back.
Why? Warranty?
No. Oh, no. There's nothing wrong with that. Thing's pristine, man. But that guy is really hot on the trail after one of my drag cars, and I'm not really wanting to let it go. And, you know, I just flapped off. I didn't even say that I wanted to. I just flapped off. I said, "Well, you got my Challenger, you know, so I don't want to hear any of that." See, one of my drag cars I got from him years prior. The one I traded him for that's not on the table. That's not a problem. But there's another one. And, you know, he's mentioned it a time or two. And I said, "Well, you know, you got my Challenger, so I don't want to hear any crap." I was just kind of trying to.
Ted, they want to talk about inverters in the chat.
Oh God, people want you to. Yeah. So the whole point of this, I was trying to get some advice and train's not an option for me. Neither is American Standard. Although I do think
your state it is.
Yeah, in my state, but for me selling it, it's not an option.
Why is that?
Well, first of all, Train, I could probably get a dealership with Train.
It's not Train, dude. It's those damn distributors.
Right. Well, and our Train distributor here in Lafayette is not only a distributor, but they are a contractor company.
Oh my God.
So
they're letting that shit go on?
Yes, sir. So I would.
That's a conflict. I mean,
dude, you're preaching to the choir. We don't have.
No. That's a monopoly.
Yeah. So I am not going to purchase.
Oh, they could kiss my ass.
I'm not going to purchase equipment from my competition.
No, they could kiss my butt. I wouldn't do that.
And what's crazy is we have probably, including me now, 40 something heating and air companies here. I bet you over 20 of them are Train dealers.
Well, I'd sell ICP.
Well, I have
to sell American Standard. You could sell American Standard.
No, I can't, because The distributor for them is a mom and pop supply house. They only have 3 locations.
They can't compete.
And the prices are high, and they already have 3 dealers, and that's all they want. So I'm trying to find an inverter system. Now, the Bryant would probably be really good because I am a Bryant dealer now too. I'm Bryant and Rude, and I'm not doing the Rude or the Ring because they've been a nightmare. They're running a scroll compressor, and they're extremely loud, and they give a lot of trouble. And
Who makes it? Who makes the compressor?
Copeland.
It's not going to work.
It's a Copeland scroll in an inverter. You can't use a scroll compressor. You have to use a
that ain't going to work.
Oh, hold on.
It gets old and wore out, it'll start up and run backwards.
Yeah, but
we'll do all kind of crap.
Rotary.
Not reciprocating. Damn it! What kind of? What's the word I'm looking for?
Is it rotary? No.
Yeah, a rotary compressor.
So,
yeah, that's what you have to use.
I have to say though that like I was surprised because I had a 20i that was installed, and I was pulling off because I was checking one of the sensors on the compressor, and I pulled off the jacket, and damn, those compressors are way louder without the jacket on than with the
You talking about the double compressor 20i?
No, just the single inverter. Yeah, it's like if you take the jacket off, the sound is completely different.
Well, it's not really a jacket; it's like a case, ain't it?
It's
like
more than that. It's even got a bottom. When they first brought the product out, we had so much trouble with that, and we've been guilty of introducing products way too early, twice that I know of that were catastrophic.
That's very true. Train has done that.
Damn air handler.
For example, the plastic air handler.
Those, well, they're not plastic, and they never will.
But that's what everybody calls them.
Well, they're coated, but they're metal. But the doors were plastic, and dude, walloped everywhere and backed off the door switch, and you couldn't figure out what it was.
You know how many attics I've climbed in and seen a TAM or a GAM or a GAF, and the door is just like cracked?
Or sitting there with no power.
Yeah.
And you go checking electrical stuff and get all the way. The last thing you look at is the door when it's on is not pushing the door switches.
Now,
being in an attic though, or is that in general? Because
where else are they supposed to go? Of course,
I'm in the land of basements.
Well, here's
areas where it's like would be in a conditioned space. So
we can't all be the Yankees.
Here's the thing
as well too, and I have never had an issue with the doors.
Okay, but here's the thing. Train should have thought about that, because down here in the South, everything, especially Louisiana, 95%
think about it, but it was too late. It was already after they had us all screaming about it. And then they brought the XV. The XL was a great product and still is, but they brought the XV out too quick. And the straight airs weren't really a problem, but the heat pumps would make so much racket and so much noise. And they gave you this kit, and you actually had to take the compressor loose and put a bottom under it. And then it was before they developed the case. Now, it's not really a jacket now. It's really an actual case.
Yeah, it's a case.
They're quiet as a mouse now. I mean, this is just my opinion, but there's a lot of facts that back me up that they're the best product. But regardless, it's really in a case now. But I know what you're talking about. I mean, if you took that jacket off, it would be louder than a 14 SEER.
Yeah.
Anything, probably louder than your Goodman and Amana.
Yeah.
Right.
Probably louder than that.
That was a shot.
Although not quite as loud as the Train and American Standard rattle trap units.
What's a rattle trap?
The micro channels.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, the XB 300.
Yeah.
We made that for a very short period of time.
Yeah,
when that came out, I was like, oh, sweet, a new Train unit. Let's install this. I installed them, like, holy cow, this thing sucks. It's so loud.
Now, wait a minute. Do you not look at the price of something before you buy it, Adam?
Hey, listen, I install for every class of person and everything else. So I thought,
your problem.
It's what do you
target your market.
So Ted, how you moving that run true, huh?
Moving it to where? The junkyard? I've never sold one.
So for those of you that don't know Ted very well, Ted puts a train. It does not matter if it's a $10 house or $1 million house,
dog house, a garage.
You're getting a train. You're not,
and you're getting a 20-series train.
Yeah, and if you don't like it,
the only other thing he installs is the 16 or 8 or the 18-series 2-stage, and he calls those the budget jobs.
The XL16i is the welfare job. But the thing is, I can buy an XR14 standard, whether it's a heat pump TIM4 or whether it's gas. I can buy that system cheaper than I can buy a daggum Goodman. What am I supposed to do?
Well, yeah, I mean, if you can do that, that's great. You know,
I mean, what am I supposed to do? I don't buy any Goodmans, and we're approaching $750,000 with train. Who do you think's going to give me a better price?
Right. I mean, it's the same way here. I can buy the Bryant line that I'm getting with my buddy at Baker Distributing. I buy it cheaper than Goodman, you know, and it's Bryant. So
dealer-based products will actually, as you start to buy more and more, any dealer-based product will give you a better, a better price. Now, Train has these tiers, and they have one more that I'm not going to. I'm not going to buy $1 million a year. I'm sorry. I'm just not going to do it. I'm not going to add any more installers. I'm not going to do any more. I'm just not. They're going to have to raise the price of the product ridiculously high to get me to buy that much. But there is one more tier. So I'm on tier 5. But they have it set up pretty good to where if you actually, so they can't force you to be exclusive, right? They can't tell you, no, you can't put another sticker on your truck. No, you can't. Now, they'll take away your co-op money if you do. Right. They'll take away some perks, but I could put Train and Carrier stickers that big right beside each other if I wanted to, and Lennox, all on the same truck, and sell all 3 products if I wanted to. You're not going to get the best shake out of any of them by not following certain rules. So the exclusivity is not from them. It's from me. I'm doing it because it gets me the better price.
So why at one point, because you have several videos where you say you installed them. Why were you installing Comfort Maker at one time?
For 2.5 years, they pissed me off.
Train pissed you off?
Yep.
Oh, I got you.
For 2.5 years.
And that was, you were installing the junk Comfort Maker back then.
No, he wasn't. He was installing the
soft sound.
Yeah, the deluxe model.
Soft sounds. Yep. The premium models. They were all premiums.
Yeah, that's the premium line of.
That's honestly a heavy jacketed, real built. I mean, it's overbuilt.
Hey, you can say what you want, but that is a well built condenser.
Yeah, they're overbuilt.
Yeah,
the jacket is. Now, I don't like an exposed coil, and I never have. But that Comfort Taker, in my opinion, if I lost Train, that's who I'd sell.
Yeah. Although it is really nice to go on a maintenance call with an exposed coil. I got to tell you.
Exposed coil is nice when you got to clean them. It really is.
Well, then why do I clean mine so easy?
Well, no, I'm not saying you can. I'm just saying.
I speed up the video or what? I mean, why do I clean a spine fin so easy if it's so hard?
No, I'm not saying it's hard to clean a
spine.
I
would say that's one downside to the Amana inverter, John, or an Amana in general. I brought that up to their attention. I said, listen, I have not had a lot of issues with your equipment. There's a couple little nuances that I won't go into, but your jacket is a joke. You know, and taking apart, because you if you have a halfway decently matted coil, a condenser coil on an Amana, you have to pull it.
Yes.
And good luck in that. And you know what the guy told me when I said, like, show me how to do it easily with one guy. Show me how to do it. If you have like a 16 or 18 series, show me how to do it easily.
Are you talking about because it's louvered?
No, just because how to fit it together. You got to like squeeze it and everything, and then get the.
It's not like Train where it just slides out. And Ream and Roo
have to take it apart because it's louvered. Because I don't take all Trains apart.
No, what it is, man, is that down at the bottom, Ted, on Goodman and Amana, that trash will just stack on the bottom. There's no way to get it out without taking the jacket off.
Oh, it does that anyway.
But
you can get a bunch of it but you'll be there longer fighting, trying to rinse it out than just take the damn thing apart.
Right. And what Ream and Rude have done that I really like, you take one screw out, unless it's a tall one, then you got 1, 2, 3, and the panel comes off and your coil, and you can see your coil.
I still think the best jacket design is Lennox in their triangle unit or whatever the hell it is.
Oh, the Elite. Yeah. Well, see, Ream's panels come off like that.
I hate that thing. That thing's got that fiberglass top that puts splinters in your hand if you touch it.
It is so easy to take the panels off that, though. It's unreal.
So
You know, I gotta say about Lennox, you know, their top of the line, their Elite, their Signature, it's real. The top is ugly. They take all this time to make it look really nice and pretty, but on the top of the fan motor, there's no cover with, you know, Lennox Signature series on it or nothing. But if you step down to the Elite has a cover that says Lennox Elite. But on their top of the line one, you can just see the motor, and it's actually kind of ugly, to be honest with you.
Am I the only one that keeps not paying attention to the chat?
I haven't been paying attention, and I'm sorry about that, fellas.
Who's this Ruben dude that bumped his head?
Who, Ruben?
Ruben Duran Jr. He says electronic TXV valves on train, which, number one, there's no such thing. Electronic TXV valves on trains always mess up.
Is he talking about EEV?
He's talking about the EEV. And
right. That's why I said there's no such thing.
Yeah. Now, the only thing I could say, when I worked for that big train dealer when I first moved to Lafayette, we had to replace a lot of the stepper motors
that would fall off
they would fall off. I mean, you could not get them tight. They would just fall off.
Yeah.
One of my first Hyperion air handlers I installed, I made the mistake of not reading the wiring diagram, and on the low voltage connections on the circuit board, I didn't realize it because it says it looks like Y1, but it's Y in, Y out.
Yeah, that's not high and low. So you have to have your fan. You have to have it, right, you know, condenser to the out.
Yeah,
in from the thermostat. It won't work right if you don't wire it right like that.
Ted, even if you do a XV20, I know that the TAMs have an electronic valve, but you do a lot of gas too. But the cased coils, is that a mechanical valve?
Yes.
What about the
thermostatic valve?
What about the TM8 air handler?
The TEM8 basically is the welfare communicating, you know, that's the cheap version of the communicating air. Oh, you talking about the valve?
Yeah, but can't you use the TM8 or the TM9 with the XV?
There is no TM9, not yet. Okay. But there is a TM8, and
what valve does it have?
It's thermostat. It's temperature.
Okay.
Yeah, it's not a stepper motor. That's only in the TAM air handlers.
Well, check this out.
And the outside units, of course.
Right, but listen to this. Ream, their damn cased coils and their air handlers but even the cased coil comes with an electronic valve, an EEV.
Which means you've got a wiring harness that has to go to the coil, and Train had those.
There you go. When you unbox the coil, there's a wiring harness hanging off the coil that you have to run to the furnace and plug it into the board, I believe.
And they just think that's going to be too many nightmares. They think first of all, that would mean a whole nother coil line.
Right.
So our coils right now you can use on everything.
From 14 all the way to 20.
Period. You just have a different.
I like that.
But
I like that.
They're all manufactured the same, and there is that. Now they could squeeze some more sear out of certain matchups, like the 4 and 5 ton. The bigger the capacity, the harder it is to make the sear. They could squeeze some more sear out with the electronic and the communication of it. They could do that, but and definitely the dependability would be way up. Like this dude here that said, they give trouble, whatever, they mess up. I don't know how many he's had his hands on, but why have I never changed one? I can show my paperwork. I promise you, I've sold thousands
of TAMs.
Changed an EEV.
Oh,
why have I never changed one?
Wait a minute. If you've sold all those EEVs, it would have to be a TAM air handler, right?
Yeah, but why have I never changed one?
I've never changed a valve. I've changed
the stepper motor. I've had them fall off.
Yeah, I've changed a bunch of them because you'd go to the service, we'd get a no cooling call, or I'd get dispatch a no cooling call, and you can and they had service Titans. So
you hang by the wire when you
so you knew what kind of equipment you had before you got to the job working for these people. And that 20 SEER would pump down when the stepper motor falls off.
Well, it depends on where it was.
Right.
Like, if it fails, in most cases, if it fails, it'll go to like if it fails due to a sensor, it goes bad. And this is what people do. They melt the damn sensor because I'll be honest with you. Another thing about a TAM, it's a bunch of trouble to install.
Oh yeah.
It really is.
The
you have to weld a little piece on first.
Dude, the heat strip is a nightmare.
Joke.
All of it's a nightmare.
Like with the whole circuit board and all that BS, it's a complete joke. I'm sorry. And you know what? I did a downflow model where it has the temperature sensors in the coil with the wires hanging down in the downflow model. And I didn't really pay attention, slid the heat strip in, started it, tripped off on breaker. What's going on here? Pull the whole thing apart. Their wires just sag down. They don't zip tie them up or anything, and it laid right on top of the heat strip and tripped it off.
So do you read your installation instructions?
I mean, obviously not, because I already told you about the
I remember the
first.
read
them either. I just don't tell everybody my screw ups.
I remember the first.
Why? What did it tell you to do? Use a zip tie? That's the train?
Just to be mindful of the wires when you use.
Why don't they just put a zip tie in? You're paying a premium dollar for a Hyperion. Use a freaking 10-cent zip tie. I'm sorry.
The more of those there are, like, for example, here's what I like about it. Here's another thing I like about them. In 5 minutes, I've proven it and timed it. I can take it slap apart and take the two C-shaped pieces of cabinet and weave them into an attic through a 17-inch wide attic door that a big air handler won't go in.
Oh no, look, I was gonna say this earlier.
Put them together.
The idea
put it back together, but I can get it apart in 5 minutes.
Look, I was gonna say this earlier. The idea of that unit is great. Like, breaking it apart and
It's not now. You should have installed them 10 years ago when it really wasn't finished.
I did when they first came out with them.
Turn you away from it. And back then you were pretty pissy. They probably could kiss your ass after you did about 2 of them.
I sold Train for 6 months. The first system I got was the old TEC air handler. TEE and but the non-variable speed I think was a TEC, and
remember
I loved I loved those air handlers. But my salesman told me, he's like, okay, look, don't get used to this air handler because we've went to the new Hyperion. And getting it in and out of an attic was great. Plug and play, you take it apart, but everything else
things. But like I said, they're a pain to install. They really are.
Yeah.
They're very modular. It's snap tight, plug and play. It's snap. Listen, if you had your hands on 1,000 of them, Adam, you'd be a fan of them, but you would realize you can't just let anybody. You have to go there.
I'm sure.
You have to go. You can't just give it to your installers and let them go put it in.
Right.
One
thing I don't like about it too is the knockouts on the side for the electric. The sizing that they pick for them are
knockouts.
Huh? Well, the holes, whatever holes they put to,
Drill them.
huh?
That's how you find out it's a metal air handler. You have to drill them. There ain't no well, there's some knockouts on the end. Like if it was up to the top in the plastic, well, I wouldn't suggest knocking those out.
No, but it tells you in the installation instructions for your low voltage, measure how this many inches from here and this many inches from here, and you can drill through it for your low and put your own rubber grommet.
That's for your high. The low voltage has a little place in the door where you just let the door pinch it.
The high voltage one, there's like
high voltage, it tells you where
Right.
to hit a harness and where to drill. And also, you don't even need that. You look inside, there's a little inset so that it'll be thin enough for your lock ring to go on your high voltage, your stress
if you're
relief.
using a heat strip with it, it's stupid. I'm sorry. I don't like it.
They're really easy. You just got to get used to it.
So Ted, when you do a XV system that is a heat pump, no gas, will you use a TAM or a TEM?
Depends on where it is.
Location of the air handler, you mean?
Yeah.
Okay. And
it depends on its configuration. Really, to be honest.
All right. But let's scratch all that. Which one do you like better? Or if you
TAM is the superior product.
Okay.
Because of the EEV, mainly because of the positive. Well, here's the biggest thing. The biggest thing that makes the TAM air handler a superior product is water management.
Right.
It ain't going to screw you up. If you can manage to get it somewhere near level and pipe it out properly, it's not going to mess you up. A TEM air handler has more water management problems than any air handler of any brand, of any, actually, Train, other than the TAMs, has more water management problems than anything I've ever seen. We still put that stupid sliding board on our coils.
What is
I've heard guys complain about the coil itself in the TEM. They say it's a piece of shit.
It's the same one in all of them.
what does it look like? What color is it? The light tannish,
Yeah,
tannish, whatever.
Yes.
Train. There's no tan.
Not
Train.
tan. It's like a lightish. It's
Green.
the color of the.
We had this discussion earlier. Al,
They're green. They're not gray. They're certainly not tan.
Yeah, it's not. It's right. It's the freaking. It's like the
light
Green.
gray.
the old Ameristar or the TU.
Those were gray.
No, hold on.
Oh,
It's the light gray one.
yeah.
No, it's green.
It's like the old Ameristar models, the old Ameristar color.
Those were gray.
We were having this
Oh, the
discussion
old one before it was made by Medea, before it was a Chinese
The
product.
CUB, the
was
CUB
American.
Cub.
Now that was not a Chinese made by Medea
No.
product. That was made in Tyler, Texas.
We
That was
had this
before we
discussion.
turned that name into a brand. It was not a brand. It was a series. Ameristar was a cheap American standard version of the XB, kind of like that XB300.
That's what I was looking for, the XB model.
Okay, so we had this discussion before you came, Ted, about color. We don't see Train as green.
Y'all are colorblind.
To me, the condensers, the XRs, the XLs, they look like a really dark charcoal gray.
Then you're going to say Goodman is gray.
No, Goodman is ugly ass green.
Yeah.
Train is a shiny version of the same thing. Goodman uses cheap paint and Train powder coats.
Okay, so
Similar colors though.
the XB model, not that 300, but the
That's green. That's real light lima bean green.
Okay, no, I'm not worried about the color. I wanted to ask you the XB, like they had the XB13, the XB14. Those they're gone, right?
Yep.
Okay, so the minimum you can get is an XR now.
That's it.
Okay. How is the new top weather guard top working out? Because I know I didn't like it. I thought it was ugly, and you felt the same way.
Yeah, I think they suck, and I raised hell. One time I bought two identical units. I mean, these were even the same size. I took them out of the boxes, and one had the old top, and one had the new top.
Oh, that's kind of a
yard.
Now, were you setting them side by side?
Absolutely, in the same yard.
That's kind of an eyesore.
So all those things at the very end of the model number, like the A or the B or the 1AA or all that really never depicts anything,
Right.
picks those changes and variations.
Right.
I had to go back and get another unit and sell that one somewhere else because I had to have them match. And obviously I couldn't get the old one, so I had to go get another new one. And the homeowner agreed with me. I wish you could have got two of those others.
Exactly. I mean, I haven't seen one in person, but I did see your video you did, and
I'm used to them, but they suck compared to the others.
The new ones suck?
Yeah, hell yeah.
Oh yeah, dude, they're ugly.
Dude,
they're ugly as hell.
And here's the biggest advantage, in my opinion. Again, my opinion, which for some reason I always think my opinion's right, but I just do, man. At least I'll be honest and admit it.
we know you do, Ted. That's why we love you.
The biggest advantage to the weather guard top is on a heat pump in the freezing rain. How many times have you looked at a heat pump and the inside of the coil is beat to hell from ice slinging off the blade?
Absolutely.
The old weather guard top wasn't like that. It was like this. And if you looked at it from straight down, it wouldn't rain inside of it.
But the wheel on the new top,
it's wide open. Acorns will drop right in and hit the blade.
So what's the damn point of the top now? Yeah.
I rest my case.
Yeah.
It might be the difference in like how do they have a difference if you're looking at the installation manual about how you could actually mount them together like next to each other?
If you're asking why they did it and why they developed that new top, it's a lot tougher and it doesn't break near as easy and it's shorter. Not on a 5 or a 4 ton, but on the smaller ones, they can stack one more higher in the warehouse.
Oh, wow.
Just telling you. It's a tougher, you know how you can go 4 high on certain units and you can go 5 high.
Right.
And I know you've seen them drop a line before. You ever seen that in the warehouse? The new guy on the forklift and the whole line, bam! And you say, well, I'm going to buy me some stuff cheap over there.
Yeah.
And
Train and American Standard is too. If you go to their website, Train and American Standard are now offering the weather guard top as an accessory. Even you can just buy it and put it on a 14 seer or anything.
And that was a lot of the reason why the development of the new one came and is points so much straight up, because the other one was too restrictive to adapt to a unit it wasn't designed to fit.
Yep. And you can even
lid on the True XL.
Right.
The XR has the dang grill lid, a whole different blade setup and everything. And the old style top it just butted, it bullnosed the air and it didn't distribute right because it didn't have those knife blade fan. It wasn't all the same.
Well, you take like back in the day on the XL 1200s and 1400s, you had the top, then you had the other top.
That's the one that was on that unit.
My dad has a
20 years.
I have there's a picture of me. My dad, when he was working actually for Train Service Center, he got as a bonus a train system to install in the house, and that was in the 80s sometime, like 88, somewhere around there. And there was a picture of me when they were installing it in our house. And my dad still has till this day. They gave him as a promotion thing. It's a Train XL 1200, and it's a speakerphone. And there's like a little knob on it that you could turn on, and it's like you connect it to your phone line in the office, and you could do a conference call with an XL 1200.
So, dude, we got 146 people in here, and you never do live streams.
I know.
So why are you such a slack ass?
Oh, work's been in the way, family's been in the way, but
if I'd have said that 7 years ago, he'd have cussed my ass out and would have kicked me off the screen.
But I'm trying not to be anymore. That's why I got on here tonight.
Try not to be a slack ass. Well, pick a night. I mean, Wednesday night is after church. Call it what you want.
Well, no, tonight's not a hangout. This is just kind of a talk. But I do want to do the Saturday night thing again where we can stay on here for a while.
Well, that's fine. But on the nights where, us three or somebody else or maybe here and there or whatever, That doesn't include all the,
Locals.
I really like a couple of those guys. But the thing is, it's just,
Wait, who are we talking about?
We're not going to talk about names.
I'm not going to name any names. I'm just
okay.
saying that, with nothing really to add and just a bunch of jibber jabber, that's a Saturday night thing. That's just what makes sense to me.
I got you.
It should be one of the super techs, because that's what us three are. Now,
I got a question for you.
I would only say that because Steve Labb would say, "Oh yeah, I'm a super tech." You guys are super, and by far am I anywhere near a super tech. We named a couple guys earlier, a lot closer to being that than me for sure.
I do stupid shit on a daily basis, so.
Well, but you can remember it most of the time and learn from it.
Yeah, true. I learn from my mistakes, but there's a lot of mistakes you can and will make in HVAC because there's a lot of shit you got to remember, right?
Yeah.
So.
I'm just glad that I finally grew out of the doing the stupid crap to me. Like pinching, hitting. One time I drove a staple through my thumb, down, up, and back up, and it hit those staples that insulation staples.
Right.
And right beside my thumb, threw back up and touched the nail. So the whole ring. Oh, dude, that was painful. I had to pull it out.
Oh, hell yeah!
Pull it straight out because it's curved. I had to
break. I did that once. I got it.
You'll see them guys in the Facebook groups. They drove a damn zip screw through their finger.
Yeah, Ted,
I did that not long ago.
You've told us all stories late night on Hangouts about your old style bar stories when you used to drink.
Well,
one time, very many years ago, I was at a bar and I was defending a friend who got into a bar fight, and one of the dude's friends came up behind me and hit me over the head with a bar stool, metal bar stool.
That's gotta hurt.
And it split my skull right here, and they had to put staples in my head. And I was like, I hate doctors. And they're like, come back in 2 weeks or whatever. I'm like, I'm going to take these out myself. So I started trying to take a couple of them out. I'm like, I didn't realize they curve in.
Oh, shit. Staples. I bet you got one out and left the rest of them.
I got one. I'm like, I'll go to the doctor.
Yeah, no shit, man.
The trick is if you snip them, and it would be really hard in the back of your head, but if you snip them and turn it into 2 pieces, you can feed them out, but I promise you it's a lot less painful for the doctor.
They have like a tool which bends the middle and they pop right out.
Well, it does, right. Or you can just snip it and turn it in, but the doctor does it a lot less painful than you.
Oh, yeah. Yep.
So I bet you only took one out.
It was one.
You didn't enjoy that.
No. I'll tell you what else hurts too. And my son might have to get it done. He has real bad sinuses, and you can get that sinuplasty surgery done, and they pack you with hey Yamo. But they pack your nose with that packing, and you got to let it sit in there for like 2 or 3 days, and then when they pull that shit out, that's pretty it looks painful.
The day I shot that staple, one of my guys was like, real close to throwing up. And he was like, you can't pull that out yourself. You can't. We got to take you to the hospital. I'm like, man, we got to finish the plenum. We were making plenums back then.
Right.
Folding up the metal with a 2x4, wrapping it, cutting our collars. We took a stick of pipe and made collars and made them on an angle. We didn't have saddle taps. We'd take the stick and stick it through and then angle it, draw around it with a Sharpie, and then pull it out and cut the dovetails, and it would be angled in the flow of the trunk line, and that's how we made takeoffs, collars, whatever you want to call them. We made everything on the job back then.
Oh, so you made your own starting collars?
Oh, yeah, absolutely, out of a stick of pipe.
We call them Scotties here, Scotties.
Dude, there's so many names, takeoffs, taps. I think the correct name, though, like at a supply house on paper, is a starting collar, I believe.
No.
Those are dovetail.
Yeah, no, a start collar is just straight.
There's rats.
The round one is a top takeoff. That's what they call
Oh,
it.
well, the ones I use the ones with the sticky stuff on the back that have the drill holes in them.
And saddles
Yes.
that go on pipe, and then flat taps that go. But honestly, those are random air takeoffs, RATs. So you call them rats. I mean, if you read the box from Hart and Cooley or whoever,
Right.
RAT, random air takeoffs.
But my dad calls it a starting collar. My sub calls them taps. I've heard people call them takeoffs.
I thought
He knows I hate mini splits, and I only ever put one in my life. And so he's been relishing that video forever. I put a mini split in and did
in your garage. Yeah.
he told me I was the American king of mini splits. He's telling everyone that.
Yeah, he's a man.
Well, all the years I've been doing heating and air, I've never drove a zip screw through my finger or the staple. I've cut myself real bad on sheet metal, but I have gotten a fish hook in my finger when I was fishing before. Yeah.
Yeah, I had the only injury I think. Well, I've cut myself pretty bad on sheet metal before. One time was. Do you guys ever? I don't know if you do this. You guys do. You probably don't. It doesn't matter for you to do this, but when we were in the basement before, the times of like sealing the ductwork with tape and that, we would take our S cleats and snip the ends so you'd have one piece of metal hanging off the end, and then you would wrap it around almost like a drive cleat around the edges of the duct. So it looks nice and it kind of seals the gap a little bit. That was before tape and mastic. So I was trying to put together a piece of snap lock, and I had one of those that I cut where it's like an S cleat, but just one piece of metal, the last out of the three hanging out. And I was like popping with my hand the snap lock, and I was like, and boy, it freaking sliced me bad. Real.
Oh, yeah.
It was awesome.
I'll tell you what, man, I can't stand a snap lock plenum. My sheet metal man, if when I get a plenum made or whatever, he has a Pittsburgh machine, and I'm glad he does, because I prefer a Pittsburgh over a snap lock any day.
Yeah, that's nice. What was that movie though? I bet you didn't do a fish hook. Remember that movie where Chevy Chase, they put he hooked that guy?
Yeah, is that one of the vacation movies?
No. I think it was something about that pond. He was a writer, and he stole that squirrel story from his wife. And
I think I know which one you're talking about.
He was trying to punch him to knock him out. Let's knock him out so he doesn't feel it. Take the hook out. And it wasn't knocking him out. You don't remember that movie, do you? And he was a writer, and it was about some old red barn, and they had that crazy mailman that would just fly by laughing and sling your mail out in the yard, drinking moonshine.
About 20 years ago, I went on a fishing trip for a weekend with my friend and his dad. We went out at his boat. My friend's like a semi-professional fisherman. He's awesome. He's catching fish every like 2 minutes on the boat. It's incredible. I'm sitting there for 2 hours not catching anything, and this guy's just reeling them in. But anyways, my friend, we were all on different sides of this boat, and he goes back to cast, and he's like, whoosh, and he goes like this, and the hook catches me in the leg.
Oh, yeah.
And then I'm like, how do I get it out? And my friend's dad's like, there's only one trick. There's a trick. We got to do this. There's a trick to take it out. I'm like, okay, what is it? And he wraps a fishing line around the end of the hook, and he just takes it. He's like, okay, this is like an old style fishing trick. Ready? You count to 3. He's like, 1, 2, 3, and he just rips it out of my. Like, oh my god! So,
but that's the way
that shit hurts, man.
Yeah, but that's the way to distract you and fool you and think something else, and then it's over.
Right.
And it's painful, but it's over.
Well, what happened to me, I'm telling you, man, them damn fish hooks will get you, because I was hung up in the bushes.
You got to let them go on through, cut them off, and push them on out.
So I was popping my line trying to get my artificial bait out of the bushes, because I didn't want to lose it. Them damn things are expensive.
Oh no!
So I was popping my line trying to get out
there, and I
finally got it, and that sumbitch came back and went right through my thumb.
I mean, you wish you'd left it in the tree then.
Oh yeah, I was mad. You know how I like to cuss and shit. You should have been on that boat with me that day.
I don't know about that. So, what's he saying now?
They said the name of that movie is Funny Farm.
Adding a board to stop blow-off issues. Oh, no, Joe, those come in our damn coils. That's why I hate our coils. They come in the coil. We call them sliding boards, and it's in our case coil. And if it's horizontal left, you have to put that, and it blocks like half of the bottom of the plenum area. It's blocking like half the coil.
I have an ADP coil in my garage here, and that's the exact same thing. I didn't even install it. I had me, a helper, and a friend of mine that used to work for my dad do it, and they were mounting the coil on there. They didn't install that plate, and I was
Splash guard.
Splash guard.
Yeah.
It sticks up so much into the freaking plenum. Much into the
blocking almost half of it.
Ted, does Train's case coil still require a splash guard?
Oh yeah. Left discharge.
Only
now
on
right
left.
discharge, we've even got a better airflow rating and that's blowing into the apex, and blowing out that way. But our airflow rating is better that way because of that stupid splash guard.
So you don't have to use a splash guard on horizontal right.
No.
Just left.
That's when you're mounting it backwards and blowing into the head.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Blowing the way we like it.
Yeah.
Through the A that way.
You would think Train would have figured something out by now to not need a splash guard.
It's not a mystery, but the coils would have to be 4 to 6 inches longer.
That's true. Train's coils are pretty compact.
Because it blows off. And that's not a mystery.
Right.
Now, I'm proud of the new shorter furnaces, but,
Yeah, but that's the thing. Rheem and Rude have the short furnace too. But the damn coil is as tall as the furnace.
Have you
guys splash guard?
Has anyone
splash guard? No.
Has anyone ever worked in that? I haven't seen anything advertised for it in a long time, but the Lennox, like that that solar unit or whatever that they were.
Why would anybody do that?
No, but hack free. No, wait, no. The hacker, Beal, he put a Linux solar on his house.
And it's supposed to be solar ready or solar compatible. There's nothing solar about it.
Well, no, I know.
It's supposed to be compatible with the solar systems.
Right.
I thought the way I saw it, like on their thing was they had like a solar panel and everything else on their brochure. I don't know.
Yeah.
I've never installed one. I've never seen one. I was just wondering.
Go watch. The hacker, HVAC hacker.
Yep.
Yeah. Go to his channel. He put one on his house.
You know what's bad?
What's that?
When
your service guy doesn't call you back when there's a limit, then he can't.
I think he thinks I want to like embarrass him on here or something. I'm gonna go over here and call him.
All right.
He goes.
Yep. There goes the legend.
The man, the myth, the legend. He is entertaining, though. I gotta give him that.
Absolutely.
It would be good to get bring Joe Shearer on here with Ted. I'd like those two to make amends. They have.
Yeah, I'm not really sure what's going on, but there's some bad blood there, from what I understand.
Yeah, but I kind of I feel like they're both getting over it a little bit.
Maybe so. Yep. I don't know, man.
But we stopped talking about inverters.
We really did. I don't know what I'm going to do. I mean, the ICP, which I'm a Bryant dealer now, which is even better. I have more of a product line now that I have Bryant. As far as reliability and the inverter doing its job, that hasn't been an issue.
So we had this guy Nate Adams on a few weeks ago on HVAC from HVAC 2.0, and they really pushed the Infinity and the Evolution.
Yeah.
I think that's both the names.
Yep.
And their control and all their sensors and everything is like awesome.
It really is.
It's awesome.
The Bryant Evolution and the Carrier Infinity are fantastic systems. I think I'm just going to stick with that. because the ICPs have been, I've had no callbacks, no breakdowns. We've done regular maintenance. They're removing humidity. The customer is, instead of keeping their thermostat on 70, they're keeping it on like 74, 75,
Right.
and just as comfortable. So, I think I'll just stay with that.
I don't mind the Amana. I mean, honestly, one of the biggest reasons why I sell Amana is because of how they treat me. And the
And I'm not a fan of Goodman, but look, I shop at Goodman almost daily because of the way they treat me. I don't buy their equipment, but I stock my truck there. I buy my accessories there because I like them and they're good to me. But I'm just not going to buy the equipment. It burnt me too much in the past. I'm just not going to do it.
Yeah.
So,
I have pretty good luck with them now. There's really not that many issues, although I shouldn't be saying this in case anyone, is watching, but I did recently have a 95 two-stage variable that I had to pull out, brand new, 1 month old.
Amana. Okay.
So, and I talked to the technical guy, and what it was is we were getting leaks from the secondary down onto the top of the upper vestibule cabinet. You know what I mean?
Right.
And he was like, "Is it coming from the hose? Is it coming from?" Like, no, it's coming from the screws. And he's like, "Try tightening the screws." I'm like, half the screws are stripped in the secondary, and he's like, "Okay, so what do you think you should do?" I'm like, "Well, I'm not sure what I should do. If the secondary strip, this is a lifetime heat exchanger warranty. Give me a new furnace.
Give me a furnace." Yeah.
Like, well, and he's asking me, he's like, "Did you over tighten them?" Like, I didn't touch the freaking things. I just checked them because they're leaking because you told me to check them. You know what I mean? Like, and he's like, "Well, they have a torque wrench for the factory." And I said, or a torque driver or whatever. And I said,
Right.
"Well, the torque driver has got to be off." And then he's like, "Well, I've never heard of this before." And then I started searching online, and there's like I don't want to say a lot, but there's a handful of guys that say the secondaries leak because they're over tightened screws and they're stripped out.
Well, even if it didn't have a lifetime, like you take me, if Brian, which I don't know anything about 90% furnaces because we don't see them here, but if I had a situation like that with my Bryant guy, even though Bryant comes with a 20-year heat exchanger and it's a heat exchanger only warranty, or maybe the first so many years you get a furnace or whatever, he would still give me a new furnace.
Yeah.
He would say, "Okay, look, just come get a new furnace."
Yeah. I mean, let's be honest. If you're doing something major like that within the first 6 months,
yeah,
BS. That is complete BS.
Well, and not only that, a homeowner doesn't want to see their brand new furnace and that they just spent thousands of dollars on, and you're tearing this damn thing apart, even though it's in warranty and they're not paying for it.
Right.
It's going to sit a lot better with the homeowner when you say, "Look, we're just going to put you a new furnace."
Well, I was surprised. This guy, the guy who owned the house, like I told him, I'm like, they just told me to replace the furnace, and they didn't pay me a lot. They gave me a little bit of labor to do it, and it was not really enough. What I was happy with,
yeah.
But they paid me to replace the furnace, like I told him like they're really standing up for on the issue, and they're replacing the furnace. He's like, I gotta tell you, I'm disappointed with this manufacturer.
Yeah.
And I kind of understand. You gotta,
Absolutely. To the guy in the chat that asked what compressor is in Bryant, Carrier, and ICP inverters, it's a Toshiba rotary. It's a rotary made by Toshiba. You cannot, I know Joe Shear said something about scroll compressor. Yeah, they're great. I love Copeland scroll, but you can't use them in an inverter. They're loud. They don't do a good job. I mean, mini splits have rotary compressors,
Let's be honest, every manufacturer has their freaking black eye of equipment though, right?
Oh yeah. Oh, absolutely.
They all do. Train did. Train had that variable speed draft motor, which was a freaking shit show. Carrier actually used the same GE draft motor as the Train, which was also another issue. Carrier had the secondary heat exchanger issue. What else do you have here? I mean, Janitrol had the heat exchangers where there was like hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of heat exchangers that you have. You had a company that you were a Janitrol dealer, you'd learn how to do a heat exchanger in an hour because you
Right.
do so many of them. You know,
Ted, did he get it figured out?
I mean, I'm not, I don't want it fired up, so I'm making him open it up and inspect the heat exchanger.
He still hasn't solved his blower issue.
No, he got it to run. That was just a wiring issue somewhere in a pigtail. It's the older Temp Star before the wraparound coil, before they were really Carrier.
Or are you talking about that old? You talking about that old horseshoe package unit?
No, it's the older Temp Star that was a big square block.
I think I know which one you're talking about.
Before the coil wrapped around the top.
Yeah.
And man, that thing's too old to be working on. The induced draft is making noise, and he was just trying to get the guy some heat for the night, and I just don't think that's always the thing to do.
Right.
So now he's opening it up to inspect the heat exchanger and find some rust holes and condemn the thing.
Right. And then you'll go tomorrow and sell a package unit.
Yep.
Exactly. but the thing is, if there are no holes in the heat exchanger, then he can put an induced draft motor on it.
Right.
And patch the wiring where he just skint some and put his clips on, and it fired off. So he's past the it won't fire thing.
Right.
The induced draft is making so much noise. It's like when you pick up on it, it's quiet.
Yeah.
I got to one unit one time that was like that, and somebody had taken a zip tie and went through something above it and zip tied the end of the motor up. And the customer said it was like that all last year.
Right. No, that's a rumor. Joe, from what I understand, Joe Petnato is not dead. That was a rumor.
Videos.
He quit making videos because he wanted to. He didn't want to do it anymore. But from what I understand, he's fine.
Oh man, there's PP the cat.
Oh, isn't that Wet Boy?
Yeah.
Yeah.
PP.
He says you're very ugly, Ted.
He's obviously got good glasses or good vision. Where is his oh man, I was supposed to edit a video tonight. I guess I'm not gonna get to it. The one I got next is some idiot that ran one of the gutters up the side of the wall, and did a line set.
Oh, he did a line set cover out of a gutter instead of an actual cover.
Right, instead of a line hide.
Right.
But he ran it right against the decking of the roof.
Yeah.
And they came and put a roof on it, reshingle job, and pow, 2 nails right in the.
That's another thing too. Is I've seen it several times where people run a line set up through the eave and into an attic, and they run it too close to the sheeting, or what is it called, sheathing,
right on it,
and then it blasts a nail hole through. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it was right on it.
Ted, you got to watch some of your thumbnails, man. You uploaded a video about 3 days ago, Goodman gas furnace service call. It looks like 2 turds sitting on a piece of something.
He did that on purpose.
Yeah, he probably did.
I probably did. I like that.
What about that ring, that Corsair ring? Did you sell that job? You uploaded that video yesterday. You changed the igniter.
Yeah, and he called back and he said, "Let's wait till spring on that." I said, "Yeah, we got no problem." He said it was working great, and I said, "Well, I didn't change anything but the igniter."
Right. Yeah, and then you uploaded one earlier this morning, a Carrier furnace unsafe job. I haven't watched that one yet.
Oh, dude, that's one that's mounted on its back.
Oh no! Don't tell me. Don't tell me. I haven't watched it yet.
So
Don't
somebody in
ruin
the chat said, hit the thumbs up because we want to get to 60 likes. Like, I say screw 60. You need to get to 100. There's 112 people watching right now. You need to get to 100 likes.
They people said they like the three of us. Maybe we'll have to make this a ritual on Wednesdays.
Well,
I would say it would be a good idea if you keep the you know, the general public, like, don't put it in the chat. Just keep a few, you know, one of us ain't here, keep
Yeah.
it actual,
Well, yeah, but no, but
company owners or service tax.
no, but I thought the three of us could do it every
that would suit me.
okay.
It just has to start, you know, like 8 o'clock or something. It can't be.
Well, I did 8 o'clock tonight.
Yeah, I was barely home.
Okay.
I could have been on the phone on the drive home or
I was
something.
like sitting in front of my fireplace waiting for you to email me a link.
No, I just
Like, you didn't send it to me. So I'm
Well,
like,
you know
I got to go outside.
I'll start email. Yeah, I'll email them to y'all starting next week.
I bet John's already seen this, but I'm going to show it to him.
Oh yeah, that's lovely. That you know, man, I don't even want to get on that topic because
That's not what I was trying to show you.
yeah, I'm just so damn disgusted with that.
We all are. There's the.
Oh, that's nice.
That's the set.
Been there before. So let me ask you.
There's
what
where
do you,
it was, you know, coming up the wall there.
yeah. So what do you do with that? Do you cut that out and swedge it, or do you just patch the holes?
Hell no. I bent that bad boy down off the wood. I got it about that far off the wood.
And just filled the holes with braze?
Lost that.
Yeah.
Why would I not?
Oh,
Now,
I'm just asking. I'm just asking. Asking what your preferred method is on something.
And
like
that was a 3/4 line. If you're going to fill that up with braze, I mean, I don't see. Yeah, that ain't going to happen. That's not going to fill. It's not like I was welding a little bitty capillary tube, you know.
Oh no, I'm with you. I was just asking.
Yeah. The homeowner thought I was going to cut it out and put a section of pipe in it, is what he said, like a coupling or something.
Mm-hmm.
There was no slack. I mean, I could barely pull it 8 inches away from the wood.
Right.
There was none slack. So, but I had a helper with me, so I got video of the whole weld and everything on that. I can rarely do that.
Right.
But yeah, I was going to edit that tonight, but that can wait. The hacked up one got like 6,000 views in the first.
Yeah, when we get off of here, that's gonna be one of the things before I go to bed. I'm gonna watch.
Oh, it's gonna be as bad or worse than any kind of crap you ever saw down there. I mean, I know you've seen a few hack jobs too, but
oh yeah,
dude, this is awful.
That'll be one of the things I do before I go to bed is watch that video.
He always posts his videos super late at night. Not super late at night, but
not yeah,
like 11, 12 o'clock at night at my time. I'm usually like in bed by myself trying to fall asleep, surfing on my phone on Facebook or YouTube or whatever. It's like, Ted has a new video.
He's lying. He doesn't watch my damn videos.
I do.
Some, but not all of them.
I don't comment on all of them, but you see a lot of times when I do, I comment in the first like 10 seconds of your video posting.
I know. I love those guys. They comment before the video's even over. I love the guys that say, I love the guys that do this. Well, you should have done this to the unit and this. And it's like, did you watch the whole video, dude?
At the end, I did. Like everybody on that thing, the one that I just put, that condemned one, you know, I did condemn it and I didn't leave it running. And I did shut the power off to it and twisted the gas cock. But the thing is, I fixed it first. I just wanted to fire it up. I just wanted to watch it fire because of its outrageously strange installation. I just wanted to see if it actually ever burned.
I'm like that too. If I see something like that, even though I'm going to condemn it, I still kind of want to see it run.
See what was wrong with it.
Yeah.
Just going to see if it really was a simple problem. And it was, but it was so bad that there's no way I could leave that running.
Right.
I'm not going to kill somebody. I mean, I'm pretty hateful and hard to get along with. And I'd throw a bunch of Democrats in a big oil bath. I'm not going to kill them.
But, you know, that could have, actually come back to hurt you if those people were to get hurt by that furnace.
My
You were the
career
last.
would be over.
You were the last one that touched it.
Yeah, I could
You
be
know?
finished over.
Yeah.
Yeah, insurance is a good thing to have, but one good big $1 million claim plus a bunch of dead people
Yep.
lawsuits, and
That'll shut you down real quick.
you're never going to buy insurance again.
Yeah.
And you're never going to have a license again. I mean,
Yeah.
I might could get a job changing filters.
There you go. That's it.
I'd come up there and work for Adam if that happened.
I'd be super happy if you came and worked for me.
I'd be the
I'd
secret
give you a
guy.
fucking room in my house if you came and worked for me.
I'd just come up there. Well, that wouldn't take long to get me out into
I
the
would
garage.
20 series all day long. I told him what I pay for commissions and that. Ted's like, oh, you'd stop paying commissions after the first couple of weeks after I'd be selling them.
No, there wouldn't be none of that. You'd get sick of that. That would be a problem.
Yep.
Yeah, you saw me taking all your money. Then you let your wife find out about it, and all of a sudden we're both fired. What the hell are you gonna do about that? And your dad's probably over there. Well, I could have told you.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, nah, you can't. I don't do the commission deal. I wouldn't pay somebody commission. That is crazy, man. That's nuts.
I'm not paying commission on parts and all that kind of stuff. I was paying more commission on like reviews and, you know.
That's probably a good idea, but the problem with that is it's going to make your tech want to say, man, my goal here is to earn a 5-star review. You know, they're basically going to ask them for one.
Yeah.
Right.
Or it's going to be a solicited review. And that's not a review. That's just a deal you're making. That's not, you know, and that puts them in an uncomfortable position. I'm not about to ask them to give me a review.
The thing is, it's like you want to reward good, positive earning and positive, just in general text. But like, how do you do it? You don't do it with reviews. You don't do it with commission. Like, how do you reward them? You just give them
Pay more than anybody else pays right from the start, period.
Yeah, but if you're a shitty tech, what are you going to do? Because I've had
Not going to work for me.
plenty of shitty techs.
Ted will buy you lunch.
Not going to work for me.
Hey, buy some cigarettes.
Well,
You
now
buy their cigarettes?
there's conditions on that. Yes, 2 of my guys get a carton a week
Really?
on top of their pay.
I'll be
Haven't
damned.
you seen that video? It's called "Smoke My Way, I'll Pay."
You buy some skags all day long.
Smoke my way, follow my rules about smoking, and I buy you a carton. I got one guy's wife that told me, "You just let me know if he don't ever."
She wants that carton of cigarettes.
We'll put it, dude, it's like $55.
No shit. Tell me about it.
So, to a man that's on a paycheck, $55? Are you kidding? I
Absolutely.
mean, that's like hitting his wife's grocery bill.
Yeah. Oh,
Now, she doesn't smoke, the one particular wife that got involved. She actually don't have that guy anymore, but she told me more than once, you know, you tell me, you just let me know if he's ever not following that rule, and we'll change that the next day.
well, look, I'm going to end this real quick because we've been almost 2 hours, but I wanted to end it by saying that I like the direction of the Cowboys, the HVAC.
Did you see it?
Yeah, I've seen them all.
The third one's the only one that was any good, though.
No, they were all good. I liked them.
That's just because you know me. So it's kind of fun to watch something about somebody you know. But honestly, if you've never seen me ever, why would you give a rat's ass that I don't like sushi?
If that was like a actual reality show about like you as an HVAC guy,
Yeah, where is this going? Good question.
So you're
Adam.
saying that's not an actual reality show? I should know.
I'm saying like Graveyard Cars. That's an awesome show. It's something like that, and it's like I have an interest in HVAC. I would watch that all day long.
I'll tell you the difference.
And if it had like
Mopars
2 seasons,
like
I'd be freaking binge watching that. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Now the difference between Graveyard Cards and me is that actually was my junkyard, and he borrows a bunch of cars from somebody else and stacks them out there and makes it look like that. Those aren't all his cars.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, but I'll
So
tell you this.
when will we see another episode of Cowboys?
Well,
Ted?
you already know a little something about one of them, and that's kind of classified.
Okay.
I honestly want to do it like in January. I want to do the filming. That's what I'd like to do. The guys have made a valid point that it's a lot more fun to do something like that in the spring or something when it's not cold outside.
Yeah.
You know, when the job is not cold. But I said, you know, because the next one is going to be no crowd. This is going to be job related. So I said this next one, I'll find, even though Adam won't believe it's here, I'll find a house that has an actual basement and we'll do the install there. And, you know, an actual stand up, walk around furnace upflow in a basement. Yes,
Right.
Adam, we do have those.
I know. I've seen some of your crawl spaces are freaking wicked crawl spaces where they're like 7 foot tall. I'm like, what is this? It's like a vaulted ceiling crawl.
And they wanted to save on concrete. I don't know why it's not a basement, but
Yeah.
you know, basements are just not as.
Give me enough notice. If you give me enough notice, I'll come in there. I'll do a cameo appearance on your next episode.
Well, that could happen, but you're spoiling it all here now.
No, you're right.
So, but anyway, I'll have to have John edit that out, or you know. But the thing is, I have a couple of strong ideas, and I just don't want to wait. I want to do them in January,
Right.
and they're available like the 3rd and 4th week of January. One guy's from Chicago, actually. I think I told you that, Adam. One of the camera guys from Chicago. The other one's from Las Vegas, and the director guy, he has a house here, but he lives below Atlanta.
Okay.
And that's where those 3 guys that did that. Now that last one, that John, I promise, that was real. That dude that owned that drone was.
I mean, yeah. Were you really? That thing was really bothering you that bad?
You let me fly one up, and you turn around, and it's right. You turn around, and it's right there with those spinning blades behind your head, like 1.5 foot from you. And you let me see you stand still and not say anything about it. Man, I tried to punch at that thing.
So, can we talk about how much did you shooting that drone cost you?
$400.
Hell, he paid his installer $300 to clean the plate of sushi.
That's because the director. See, that was all. I think we're going to be better on the next version, the episodes, because we've gotten to know each other a little better. That was kind of a deal where, you know, I didn't really have much control, really none, and it was his project. And, you know, no script, no nothing. The director was totally in control of that. And, you know, he thought he was going to put me on the spot. And, well, I'll show you how we roll, buddy. So he was doing something like getting the next plate ready, the next plate of the ostrich or whatever he was trying to trick me with, and you know, came back and it was gone. It was done. And a lot of that was off camera that nobody saw, but you know, they was like, he didn't eat it. What, you know, what'd you do? Did you cheat for him or what? I said, dude, you said to get it done. You didn't say I had to eat it. You said that was my part. And that we weren't going anywhere. Like, so much of it was cut out. There's B-rolls and there's blooper rolls I'll bust out later, but so much of it was cut out. The one part everybody's going to like is where I tried to kick that drone because it was down low. It was at about 3 feet from the ground. And I went running over, and I was seriously going to get it. If I wouldn't have been in the city, I would have shot that thing way before the 3rd episode. But I tried to kick it, and I landed flat on my ass, man. You know, just tried to kick it so hard because I was so mad. And luckily they didn't put that in. But the guy let me believe that he was, driving it. He was a little nerdy guy that owned the drone. Each of those cameramen owned their own equipment.
Right.
This guy was driving it. You can't do it. You can't do it. You can't do it. And, he was like that for 3 days. I was ready to just punch him instead of the drone. And
So,
come to find out it had software like an anti-crash. So when I would swing, man, I swung sticks at it, that bat, that picket I had, it would just move out of the way on its own. It had software that would not let you crash it.
Right.
Well, so it wasn't his driving that made it so difficult. So I said, I bet that son of a gun can't dodge a bullet. But I didn't say anything. And what I really shot it for is Connie said I wouldn't. We were standing, that was true reality, man. That whole thing happened exactly like you saw it.
Yeah.
She said, I was whispering to her. I said, I'm going to. I am too. I'm going to flash it. Damn. That thing flies over here one more time. She, you ain't going to do it. Flew that thing over. Pow. Gone. And what they didn't show enough of was the footage from the camera itself when it was spinning.
Oh, yeah.
The first shot just hit one of the blades and it started spinning like that. And then the film went, error.
Right.
Instead of error. And then I guess because they weren't expecting it, they weren't really positioned correctly because they didn't. Hey, he's the one that said no script and true reality. Fine, I shot your damn drone, crybaby. Cry like hell. I asked him earlier, when I was trying to destroy it, how much is that thing going to cost me? Well, it's worth $400 to hit it with his baseball bat. They cut that too. I had a baseball bat after it one time. It's one of those aluminum. It wasn't that long. It was one of those aluminum bats. I just had it in the shop there. If we weren't in the city, I would have shot it out there in my parking lot when I was getting out of my race car. And they had it like right here.
Yeah.
I mean, they had the language was pretty bad in that whole thing. They had to beat some, but they had to flat out cut some of it because of how mad that drone made me. I mean,
That's hilarious.
I didn't like it, man. I didn't like that.
I could tell.
It made me mad.
I'm surprised that you put, I remember talking to you early on when they were editing it. And you were talking about the intro when they were doing the whole showing Ted and what's his name, Steve and
Connie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you were they were gonna show you pointing a gun. And I don't know, and you're like, no, it can't have that. Can't have that.
All that out. They had it. Did you not see that version? I thought I showed it to you.
Oh.
Yeah, you did.
I didn't see it in the on the intro. No.
You saw it before anybody did.
I know, but I didn't see the gun version. You told me that you told them no on the gun version of it.
I've got it.
Send it over.
Yeah, send it to me too.
Oh, that's just as good as send, no, I ain't doing I mean, I didn't like it. It was just way too much. I just didn't want that, there's just things you don't do.
I think
I'm on here to hang out and bash the Democrats or whatever, but I'm not going to get on my channel on my video and, I'll stand for my faith and my religion no matter what. And if somebody doesn't like that, I'm sorry they don't like me.
Yeah.
But I'm not going to separate. I'm not going to play the game. I know we don't want to get started on it, but notice this unity BS that the left is preaching. Notice for the last 4 years, they never mentioned anything about unifying.
Yeah.
And then now, so basically it means unify to us, but we're not going to unify to you. That's basically the hypocrisy of that garbage.
Yeah.
But still, I have to work for everybody. Everybody has to work for me. And I'm unlike the left. I don't hate the other side. Just like South Carolina football, man. I want them to win every game they play except ours. That's my rival.
Right.
So if you hate your rival for more than 3 hours a year and you want them to lose the whole time, then when you beat them, you haven't beat anybody. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Aren't you an LSU fan?
Absolutely.
Okay. So don't you want, well, wait a minute. Now, Alabama's not their rival, is it?
Oh, yes.
Well, that's another rival, but what's their actual rival? There's not an in-state rival, is there?
No, there's no in-state. I would say Alabama. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so wouldn't you rather Alabama beat everybody but you?
No.
It's hard to say.
No.
Yeah.
No.
But the thing is, then you're the only one that beat them. You really did something when you beat them.
Yeah. Do you want to beat a
Well,
loser?
yeah.
Do you want to beat a loser or do you want to beat a winner?
Well,
Yeah,
and you know what? We did that last year. Last year, we were the only ones that beat Alabama,
I knew I should.
and we beat your Clemson Tigers in the
I knew I
national championship.
I stepped in that hole. Well, the one-man show is over with, and you ain't beat nobody yet. You ain't beat your meat this year.
You are damn right about that.
But,
Absolutely.
You know, I've never hated. I mean, I hate Alabama, but I've never hated LSU. So
No, LSU's always been a fun program.
pretty well pissed me off when they beat us. But the fact is they beat us.
Hey, it was a hell of a football game, though.
It was
Until the end when we ran away with it.
Well, you did get a lot. You know,
Yeah.
you did. The momentum turned for free. Like the dude put his hand out of bounds. I mean, you saw it. You can't say you didn't see it. I mean, he stuck his hand down out of bounds and gained a 40. That was where the momentum turned, and momentum means a lot in a football game.
Oh, hell yeah.
But I'm here to tell you, though, take that back. Take a lot of stuff back. And I think we still would have got beat. Joe Burrow was an absolute beast.
Amazing quarterback.
I don't know what he's going to do pro-wise.
He's been doing well, but he got hurt, so he's out for the rest of the season. But
Damn.
I mean, he's playing for Cincinnati. He can't do it all himself, but he himself, the team doesn't look good, but himself, he looks really good.
He's unbelievable.
Yep.
I mean, there was just nothing else. And I don't like seeing Notre Dame play so good. I don't like that. They're playing good this year.
I don't really have anything against Notre Dame.
Yeah, well, they didn't beat you either. or it wouldn't matter if they did, because you're not, they didn't beat you when you were number one.
Right.
So, yeah, I'm not real thrilled about that. And I look forward to playing them again when we're not missing 5 key players.
Where are y'all at right now in the rankings, Clemson?
Either 4th or 3rd.
Okay.
I mean, I don't know if they've changed their mind about anything or not. I don't know why Ohio State is in that.
And Alabama's already back up to number 1. So.
Oh yeah. I think in the end it could be us and them, but I'll be honest with you, we're not the championship team this year.
Do y'all
be in the game?
The quarterback with the long hair, he's still there?
Lawrence, yeah.
Okay.
Trevor Lawrence. Yeah, he's really good, but not consistently really good.
Right.
He's getting better and better. I don't think he's ready to go pro like he thinks he is.
Yeah.
I think he needs to play another year and show himself and bid himself up better. But there again, I don't know enough about that stuff,
Yeah.
Because I'll be honest with you, I'm just a college football fan. At the end of the day, I want Clemson. I got my team. But at the end of the day, really, I like college football.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. College football. Yeah.
I like
Absolutely.
them. It'd be easier to count the teams that I don't want to watch than it would be to count the teams that I want to watch.
In my opinion, there is nothing like a Saturday night in Death Valley. That stadium is rocking, man.
Either one of them. Come to ours.
Yeah. So
you saw that Notre Dame coach's face when he walked out and heard that noise.
Yeah.
He said, y'all can't be as loud as us and whatever. But
man, I have literally felt Tiger Stadium shake. I mean, it's crazy.
Probably for real. Probably actually felt the concrete under you shake.
Yes. I mean, it's crazy, man. It gets loud. It's crazy.
So we did this on Wednesday night is when you came in here and did this. And at one point it was 146. Did you notice what the high was?
I don't know what it got to, but I picked Wednesday night because nobody does anything. You know, I don't want to interfere with Chris, which I wouldn't. Chris on Monday nights, I mean, he's got like 400 and something people that watch him. So, but still, I'm not going to do a live stream on his night.
He's got that many regulars that watch.
Yeah.
Oh, I've seen it one time at 800.
I just thought Wednesday was, you know, a good. It's hump day. It's the middle of the week.
Trump day, whichever you want to call it.
Yep. So anyway,
hopefully nobody names us like, you know, service clowns or nothing like that.
Can I give a quick plug?
Absolutely.
All right. Anyone that doesn't know, Friday nights, HVAC Overtime, 8 p.m. Central on YouTube. We do a show. Chris, HVACR Videos, Joe, HVACR North, and Curious HV, or what's his name? Curious Bill, man?
Yes. Yeah, something like that.
I don't think there's but maybe one or two in here that already ain't, you know, both of yours guys.
Yeah, look, if you're not a follower or a subscriber to HVAC Overtime, you can click the thing in his name in the chat. Like he said, every Friday night they do a show. It's a great show. And with that, we've been on here for over 2 hours. So I'm gonna.
So let's try to make a promise next week to pay a little more attention to the chat.
Yep. Yeah, guys. I hadn't been on in a while, and if I didn't pay attention to you in the chat, I do apologize.
We did do that, and we should probably rotate. You know, take shifts or whatever. Somebody's got to pay attention to the chat.
Yeah.
Those guys are really. I mean, I was really, I'm impressed with them all coming in there and watching us like that.
Yeah.
All we're doing is sitting in here like us three were sitting in our living room talking to each other.
Right.
And we did sort of focus away from the chat a little too much.
Yeah. Well, so look,
might ought to do a little better on that. It's just a suggestion.
Yeah. If you like this video, hit the thumbs up button. And if you two are willing, we can do this again next week.
I'll be ready. I know Adam will do it.
Adam,
I'm a YouTube whore.
Okay. All right, guys. We'll hit the thumbs up button, and we'll see y'all next week. Thank y'all for coming in, and we will pay better attention to the chat next week. I promise.
Yeah, I think we should.
Yep. Y'all have a good night. Thank y'all.
Later.